Okay, bro, if you've ever been like me, you can probably relate to that feeling of you playing video games for like 4 hours or watching YouTube for like a few hours and then just having like zero motivation to actually go out and do some hard tasks or study or do any good habits. I remember during COVID, during like my gaming arc, whatever the hell that was, I was playing video games for like 8 hours a day. I was doing pretty much everything but the good habits. I was always chasing the next hit of pleasure, and yet I was never actually enjoying it. I remember I'd be playing like 4 hours of video games, 8 hours of video games, and I remember I would literally have to watch YouTube while I was playing video games, like the most addicting thing in the whole world, because it was just not fun anymore. And so if you're like me right now, you can probably relate to that feeling of like even the bad habits, even the things that are supposed to bring you joy in life don't even feel good anymore. And so this video that you're watching right now is going to be your wake-up call. You are going to have to make a change now, bro. The way that you're living right now isn't working. You've been playing video games for hours every single day, eating junk food, stuffing yourself. You have literally zero motivation, zero drive to go accomplish things in real life because you've literally fried your brain with all of these years of you doing these bad habits. Because there is a problem in your life right now. You know the good habits that you need to do. You know the habits that you're doing right now, like video games, junk food, scrolling. You know these are bad for you, and yet you're still doing them. You can't get yourself to do these good habits even when your parents are yelling in your face to go do them. And so here's the thing, bro. In the past 2 years, I've completely transformed my life with the advice that I'm about to give you, because in the past 2 years, I've gone from playing video games for 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and having literally zero motivation to do the good habits to literally now being motivated to study. Think about it. I am motivated to do the habits that you hate. I am motivated to do the things like exercise and studying, which are painful things. And so think about how powerful that is, bro. Because think about this. If you were motivated to do the good habits, think about how powerful that would be. You would literally be able to make studying feel like you were playing video games. You'd literally be exercising with a smile on your face. And I can guarantee you, if you follow all the advice in this video, you could change your life within just a few weeks. And so I'd recommend you stop scrolling on the sidebar, put this video in full screen, and give me your full attention, because if you just give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your time, I could change the trajectory of your life, bro. See, here's the thing. The reason that you're doing all of these bad habits, even when you know they're bad for you, is because that these habits are simply a symptom of an underlying problem that you're having right now. And that problem is low dopamine. So you probably heard about this word called dopamine tossed around here and there like it's your mom. So let me just give you like a brain dead, like caveman analysis of what dopamine actually is, just so that I can give you an understanding of how to improve your dopamine. So dopamine is like the motivation chemical in your life. When you want to go play video games, when you have that urge to scroll on YouTube, that is just dopamine in your brain signaling to you that you have motivation to do something. And here's the thing, whenever you do these things, your dopamine spikes up like crazy. Like, it's how they're engineered. But what happens is that when your dopamine spikes up, like let's say this is your baseline dopamine, when it spikes up like up here, as soon as you stop playing the video game, it falls back more than where it was before. So if you started out with this much dopamine, when you're done playing video games, you actually only have this much dopamine. And that's the reason why when you do things like play video games for a few hours, you don't have any motivation to do things like study. And that's because you have no dopamine. And just think about your life for the past few years for a second. Every single day, you've literally woken up and literally fried your dopamine for like 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day. And so what's happened is that your dopamine like a few years ago might have been here, but now it is completely fried and you have almost no motivation. And so pretty much the more you do these pleasurable things like playing video games, eating junk food, you actually get less dopamine. You have less motivation after it. You pretty much start living this weirdly depressed, lazy life where you just have no motivation to do anything but the bad habits. So what we need to figure out is, how do we increase our dopamine? How can we get our baseline dopamine so high so that we can actually start doing the good habits and actually feel motivated to do them? And I've actually found a way to do this, but here's the thing. You need to have a pair of balls for the rest of this video, because you've been looking for some quick fix to try and fix your dopamine that you've been frying for like 5 years now, right? But the reality is there is no quick fix. But if you actually follow through on the answer that I'm about to give you, your life will change for the better. And so just hear me out, bro. If you want to actually let your baseline dopamine go back up to normal, we need to go on something called the dopamine detox lifestyle. We want to basically let our dopamine rest. So what we need to do is we need to stop indulging in the instantly pleasurable things that lower your dopamine and instead do the things that do the opposite of that. And this is the point where most people are going to stop watching, because most people don't actually want to do this. You see, if you want to actually improve your motivation, you have to make the things that you want to do the most pleasurable thing. Because let me just give you an analogy, bro. Imagine that you have this fat guy in front of you and you offer him either salad or pizza. What's going to happen is that he's going to choose the pizza every single single time. And the pizza in this case represents like the good, pleasurable activities like video games, porn, junk food. And the salad represents the good habits, which is like studying, exercising, going outside. You're like the fat guy in this case, and we need to take the pizza away from you, or else you're gonna just keep on defaulting back towards it. And so don't worry, I'm gonna give you the step-by-step roadmap to completely eliminate these instantly pleasurable, not even fun things anymore, so that you can actually regain the motivation that you've lost for so long. See, what we basically want to do is we want to slowly decrease the amount of bad stuff we're doing and slowly increase the good habits that we're doing. I'm not just gonna tell you to snap your fingers and tell you, oh, quit all of your YouTube, quit all video games in a second, because that's not how it works. We're gonna slowly decrease the bad habits so we can actually stay consistent with this and not simply snap back to our old ways. So for the first few days, all you need to do is just eliminate things like solo video games. Because think about it, solo video games isn't even that fun anymore, and so you might as well quit it. And instead of watching things like YouTube shorts and other things while you play, only watch content like this where there's somebody giving you advice, there's not that many weird flashy edits, and so your dopamine isn't getting spiked as much right now. And while we're eliminating these things like solo gameplay and these other not really that fun tasks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna increase the amount of good habits that we do. So today, what I want you to do is, instead of just sitting there and playing video games for the entire day, study for just 5 minutes. Now that sounds kind of weird because nobody's ever told you just study for 5 minutes, right? But here's the thing, we're gonna try and do this slowly. We're gonna try and slowly increase the difficulty so you actually stick with this process and not give up within the first few days. So every now and then, throughout the day, just do 5 minutes of studying. Slowly but surely increase the amount of good habits that you do, while also decreasing the bad habits that you do. So now for the next few days, all I want you to do is just do a little bit more of the good habits and just cut out the really unfun, brain dead habits like solo gameplay and watching YouTube shorts. And slowly our end goal should be that over the next few weeks, you're gonna slowly cut out more of the bad habits. So instead of playing video games with your friend every single day, just do it every other day. Slowly increase the good habits as well. So now start doing 20 minutes of studying a day. Start actually doing some exercise for a few minutes a day. Because here's what happens when you start doing these good habits like exercise or studying, it pretty much does the opposite of what normally happens when you do things like video games. In video games, your dopamine spikes up and then it falls back down. But when you do something like exercise, it goes down a little bit because it feels kind of painful, but then it goes higher than it was. So pretty much when you start doing these good habits like exercise, for example, you're gonna start seeing that after just a few days, even though you're not shredded or anything, you're actually gonna see that you're more motivated. You're gonna see that you have a little bit more desire to accomplish stuff in life. And that's because these good habits feel bad right now, but they actually improve your dopamine later on. And what I found was that now, like after a few years of basically being on this dopamine detox lifestyle, I never had this urge to play video games. I haven't had this urge to go on YouTube and scroll endlessly. And that's because now my dopamine levels have completely reset. After just a few weeks, my dopamine levels literally went from down here to like up here. And so if you want that, turn your brain off right now and do like 5 sit-ups. But here's the thing, your ego is gonna get in the way here. It's gonna say shit like, oh, I don't want to give up my precious video games, my precious Genshin Impact. But understand this, bro. The companies that have designed these things like video games, like junk food, they are literally poisoning you right now. When you do these things like play video games, eat junk food, you are actually poisoning your mind and your body with these things. And so it's your choice, man. If you're able to actually get rid of these bad habits from your life, you will have a completely different life trajectory. But if you want to be like 90% of other guys right now who are still stuck in the cycle of addiction and are attached to their anime waifu Genshin Impact games, then it's fine, bro. But you're gonna get destroyed by the guys who haven't been frying their dopamine and who are actually willing to make a change when they watch this video. After just a few weeks of this protocol, I was able to get rid of all of my bad habits that I've had for like 5 years in just a few weeks. And so just take a deep breath right now and start letting your dopamine heal back again. I promise you, bro, you will not regret it. Go down and subscribe if you want more videos just like this posted to your feed. And as always, my name's Atharv. See you soon, bro.